I wanted to bring up my father, Ron Olson, our chairman and CEO, to talk a little bit about that.
Hi everybody. While we do a transition here, I want to talk a little bit about our company. And we are a very democratic company. When it came to where we were going to have this next conference, my choice was Minneapolis. But guess what? Chad, Laura, Jenny, Ann voted me down. So here we are.
You're welcome.
Here we are in Denver. So anyway, it's a beautiful city, and thank you all for taking the time to come and come to Denver. You know, it's interesting because I listened to Chad, and for sure with all the new people that are here, and as I went through the list, there's a lot of people that I don't think I've met. I probably may not even recognize you if I did meet you once at the last conference. So please feel free to come up and introduce yourself, and let's talk and get to know each other, because that's what this whole company is about. We truly do believe in being a part of a family, and that's been my philosophy since I started way back when, back in 1988 to say the least. But anyways, very exciting time, and that's the way we're going to continue running our company, and that's the way Chad wants to run the company. So I really appreciate that. Basically, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about branding. It's really important that the brand that we build with Closed Mentor as we go forward becomes the best brand that we can have, everybody can really have. Chad's talked a little bit about it, as Jim has talked about it, and it's a really important part, I believe, in what we do and what you do. And I've had a little bit of experience in it. It's interesting because when we started back in 1988, the stock market on 787 was at 2,700. And at the end of 1014, it dropped down to 1738. Amazing drop, a third. And we were just starting in business. Makes you a little bit nervous. But of all the concepts that I've been involved with, and there's actually more that is not listed there, all these concepts ended up to be pretty successful. A couple of them didn't do as well. Disco Round we ended up selling back, I think, in the mid-90s, and did not do as well after we sold it. Computer Renaissance we also sold after I had left, and didn't do so well either. In fact, I'm not even sure they're doing, I'm not sure how many they have. And some of them didn't work. We had Retool, which was new and used hardware. If for whatever reason we could not get enough used equipment to make the store successful, I think there's probably only 5 that are still around. One of the franchisees there now has 18,000 square feet in the East Coast someplace, but he's expanded it to all kinds of equipment. But it's been kind of interesting to watch how all of these concepts have grown. So at the end of 2011, we have Closed Mentor with 51 stores open, doing about 22 million. We have new uses, which we'll spend a little bit of time, and maybe we'll listen to Lynn a little bit more in her presentation. We have 3 stores at the end of 2011 doing about 2.1. And then obviously Plato's Closet with 324 stores doing almost 300 million. Once Upon a Child having 347 stores doing about 200 million. Play It Again Sports, which was the beginning concept that we started back in 1988, has 325 stores doing about 241 million, and Music Around with 24 stores doing about 24 million. Pretty exciting to see all these concepts. And as I put these slides together, I found it interesting to see all these logos that we created. And they really look even as successful and as current today as they did back in the late 80s. Again, we started our business in 1987, or 2007, I'm sorry, and the stock market was 13,780. And by February of 2009, it had dropped down to 7,062. Again, not a great time to be starting a new business. But maybe in a way, in these economic times when we have these slowdowns, maybe our concepts are the time to start. I mean, so I think it has been a real joy to see the growth that we've seen. Well, this is kind of my projection, 5 years. I think we have the ability to be close to 300 stores in 5 years, doing almost 300 million. I mean, what we have going on, and we heard some of the numbers that Jim talked about. I mean, we've got seemingly a momentum that's really growing fast. And if I look back to Play It Again Sports, at one time in 1993 or 94, we had 450 stores sold, not open. I think about those days and I'm kind of wondering how we kept our sanity with that kind of fast growth. But it was a very exciting time, and I can feel and see the same type of excitement that we're seeing in Closed Mentor. Currently we have two concepts under our umbrella, Closed Mentor, which you're aware of, and New Uses, which at last conference we signed the final documentation during the Closed Mentor in June of last year. We currently have 5 stores open. The 3 stores in Columbus, the company store in Minnesota, and the 2 stores in Chicago. And guess who's opening those stores?
Hello.
With the 3rd one opening August 1st.
So it's a very, it's again a very exciting new concept that not new, because New Uses has been around for 10, 12 years. But it's really fun, it's exciting, we've made a lot of changes, and again, we changed the logo like we do every other logo, right? So anyway, branding. I mean, so when I think about branding, I think about how do you grow a company, or all these companies that I've been involved with, and to be successful. And I'm going to just do some very simple things. Name and logo. I mean, the Blums come up with the name, but I've never liked any of their logos that they use.
It's all good.
Actually, they sometimes didn't even like the way we redid the stores and fixturization and colors and everything. But we've had a very good relationship, and it's very interesting because when I look at their stores, and after we come up with the new prototype, they swing their stores to the new prototype and their volume keeps going up. I mean, isn't it great? It's a magical formula. Advertising. Obviously, advertising is something you have to do. And the thing is consistency is so important across the United States that we present ourselves the same way to each customer in every marketplace. And that is so important that I cannot tell you how advertising, and whatever that might be, I mean, every market is different. If you're in a smaller market, TV may be the best thing. If you're in a large market, maybe it's only newspaper and direct mail, or newspaper. I don't think many people do newspaper. Maybe the local paper around your stores. Inserts, yes. And you know, one of the things about inserts is that, as you know, Jenny, well, starting off with Jim and then Jenny, we're doing these inserts with the changes, and we are introducing, I think, are they going to be here today? Tomorrow? We have a new company, third-party graphic management, that will be, everything will be online, and that you will be able to make the changes to all the formats that are there, and they actually do the printing and send it to you. And it should be very smooth without having to go through our people to make those changes. And are they in a special session?
Yes, they will be in the hired to fired, FCBATS, and graphic management session.
Okay. That's a very exciting thing. I have to tell you, for Jenny to have put all these formats up to the web or the cloud or wherever they go, it's been a lot of work, but now that we're there, it will make your life and our life, I think, a lot simpler. Facebook, you know, constant contact. I think that I asked Jenny how many constant contacts does each store have? And her guess was roughly between 2,000 and 5,000. So if you multiply that 3,000 times 50 stores, you got 150,000 contacts that we have. And the internet, obviously, emailing to these people is a very inexpensive and very effective way to communicate with your customer and build that loyalty that's so important. So I know we spent a lot of time talking about that at our last conference, but I would, if you're not on constant contact, please jump on board, and if you are on, keep expanding it. Facebook, I think most people are on Facebook, and I'm kind of on the old age here, so I'm not so sure that I can talk much about Facebook, but I think it's been pretty effective for the people that are using it. So I may have to go to a meeting and find out about Facebook, Twitter, and the web page. So anyway, the advertising is key, and the consistency of how we present ourselves across the United States in any one of these categories is important. And please try to maintain the integrity of what we as the franchisor try to give you and present. I think that my next slide
We've heard that Clothes Mentor pays you cash on the spot for your brand name apparel, shoes, and designer purses. So we're going in to check it out.
Welcome to Clothes Mentor. Have you sold to us before?
No, but I heard that your store pays cash on the spot for my items.
Yes, if they're in great condition and in current style, we'll pay you cash for the items that we select to purchase.
It's true. Clothes Mentor pays you cash on the spot for your gently used women's fashion.
Get more for your closet at Clothes Mentor.
That was the commercial that was, I don't think we presented it last. We did? Okay, we did present it. It's interesting because when I talk to the staff, they say, should we show the new commercial? And they go like, I don't know if they'll like it or not. And you know, we can't, I'm sure that not everything that we do that you're gonna like, but I think it's worth our trying to give you as much of a broad base of different advertising tools. So we did create a new TV ad. And one of the things that I looked at is that I kept seeing this Ford car commercial, and they had these customers that were testimonial, that, you know, the person was driving up in their Ford, and or maybe it was in a conference room, and these reporters were running up and they'd say, how do you like your Ford, and why do you like the Ford, and whatever, and it was all candid. And so we created a new TV ad. It's hot off the press. I had to actually have them email it to me this morning, quarter done, and it really is kind of a takeoff of the whole thing, where a customer is seen shopping in the store, then she goes into the dressing room, and in between the times that we were shooting this, she does not know that we're going to film her when she comes out. So it's her natural reaction to talking about Clothes Mentor. That's scary.
We Clothes Mentor shoppers with our red carpet runway to find out why they love shopping at Clothes Mentor.
I get a lot of compliments from friends on my clothing. I shop at Clothes Mentor about twice a week. Clothes Mentor keeps up on their sales trends. Customer service is awesome.
Clothes Mentor, making frugal look fabulous.
Now that's a rough draft. I mean, We did not do any editing or whatever, so there's a lot we can do. We actually had 6 different customers that we did the same thing to, and they feel that all 6 could be created into a commercial, which we will be doing. So, did we do okay?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
Chad is probably the worst one. He doesn't want to show anything.
You know, Chad touched on some things about building brand, and you know, touch points are kind of like, what is that customer experience? I go into a lot of stores and shop, and I'm always impressed when I go into Pier 1. I always get greeted. And we try to train our corporate staff to greet everyone and say, have you been in the store before? And try to educate them. It's the toughest thing to do. I have to tell you, it's hard. Some people are natural at it, but most people aren't. But I have to tell you, it's a really important thing. And I just hope that everyone in your store greets that customer that comes in. Loyalty is obviously communication. Sales contact, again, that interaction when that customer comes in, because I have to tell you that you can make or break that customer liking your store or that loyalty by that reaction of how your staff interacts. Business systems. You know, the point of sale system is really a great tool to build loyalty. I mean, that's where all these emails are going into, and we're very fortunate to have that. I found it interesting having gone in to buy some trash compactor bags at Sears. I obviously must have bought something that was on some kind of a customer loyalty program with them, but they didn't have my email. And they asked me for my email, which I gave them. I got 3 emails the next day talking about thanking me. They sent me the receipt, and they asked if there was anything else that they could do for me. I thought it was pretty impressive. And here's Sears, a huge retailer. And we are so much more advanced than that huge retailer is because of this system that we have, the point of sale system. So anyway, use it and keep building that brand loyalty through that point of sale system. So anyway, that's my presentation, and it's been really exciting to be a part of this. I mean, I'm very fortunate to have been in lots of different occupations in my life. Obviously, GrowBiz was a real high, to say the least, to go from 2 stores in 1988 to, I think we hit 1,500 stores at one point in time. As I said, there was at one point in 93 or 94, we have a editorial in New Uses that it says, I don't know how many stores we had open, but we had 450 stores sold, and I go like, wow, that is just amazing. And I can see the same possible growth here in this company. So for me, it's been very exciting.